We got Corey. We got Corey.
What's up, guys? SEC After Dark. Welcome to the family.
We back.
We're back. We got Steve, Jake, and the Riddler joining me here on SEC After Dark on After Dark, y'all's conference network, After Dark LLC at Bleav Network, all in conjunction to bring you this
magical mystery tour we call fandom.
That's right. It's what we do. It's how we roll. So apparently I'm going to have to shift alliances from the Falcons to the Eagles if they keep drafting and trading for Georgia players. Half their defense is now Georgia Bulldogs, so that's fun.
And half their offense is Alabama, so here we go. Let's go.
So the Philadelphia Crimson Bulldogs. How about that?
That's right. Yeah, let's go, Corey.
Let's roll, dude. Jake, you and I unite in Philly over a Philly cheesesteak.
What is it? Wonder powers activate? There we go.
Hell yeah. Philly cheesesteak powers activate.
We got AJ Brown up there too, so yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Come on over, Steve. Maybe we should all ditch our NFC, our Southern teams, and go to Philly.
No, what is it? Jake Haener. He's basically Drew Brees. He wears number 9. You haven't heard?
I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. For over the course of a week, that turned into like the John Rice Plumlee playing piano thing. It was ridiculous.
Hell yeah. Have they had a rookie minicamp there yet? Is he on? I want to say campus, but is he at the facility?
I'm sure he showed up. You're talking about Haener?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he showed up because they do all the rookie stuff right after the draft. But, I
don't know if they've had anything official or like you've seen like thousands of slow-mo videos of Aaron Rodgers throwing passes to Garrett Wilson at OTAs. And I was wondering if we were going to see any slow-motion shots of Jake Haener throwing passes to Chris Olave.
Yeah, or Michael Thomas or
Rashid Shaheed.
I think the slow-mo passes is going to be Derek Carr, and which, by the way, the Saints, they have a Fresno State problem, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I guess they subscribe to Mountain West After Dark. So in this case, we're gonna have to sign them to the lineup here at y'all's conference network.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, Jeb's coming. He's planning on it. He's had a problem when he tried to log in, and whenever he restarted his computer, it started doing random flash updates.
That's like that. Yeah, that'd be my luck.
So yeah.
That's definitely been my luck at some point. Although MacBooks don't do Flash updates,
right?
Thankfully, but we're here.
I didn't think Flash was still a thing.
Apparently, it is.
Yeah,
but we are here. We are with you. We are with you for the next hour, so we're going to enjoy this. Got a lot to talk about here. We're presented by BetOnline.ag. The number one source for all your sports betting needs. The NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs are in full swing. The Boston Bruins had the best season in NHL history, knocked out in the first round by the Florida Panthers.
Wow.
So knocked out in 7 games by a team that they should have swept and swept easily.
Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? Thrashers? Nope, my bad.
Too soon, Jake. Too soon. The Seattle Kraken enjoying their debut inaugural season, making a second-round appearance in the NHL playoffs. So That's exciting for the city of Seattle. They finally have a good sports franchise again. So you can bet on all that. You can get live odds, player props, things like that. You can also play casino games and card games that you like. So for all of that, all you need to do, and you can do it from right there in your own home. And you can do it also from your mobile device. So you need to hop on the website, betonline.ag, sign up, and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit using the promo code Bleav. That's BLEAV. Betonline.ag. That's where the game starts. So where shall we start? TJ Finley in the portal. Go ahead, Steve.
Let's start with the Detroit Tigers. Absolutely.
Okay.
Swept a doubleheader today with the New York Mets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They are 2 and 14 against the AL East this year. They are 10-3 against everybody else. It's so bizarre.
The AL East is pretty strong.
Yeah, I would petition not to play against the AL West, or the rest of the year, East the rest of the year.
Yeah,
I'm getting all the AL West that I want, that I can handle, because they ain't very good out there on the West Coast.
Yeah,
at least in the American League side of it. National League side, however, I mean, you've got the Giants and the Dodgers. So, yeah, Tigers, man, it's quite a turnaround, Steve. It's quite the turnaround.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to win 80 games this year, but it's definitely fun to see it happening, because basically what they are, they're not a good offensive team, but they've discovered that if you can't be good offensively, you better be good everywhere else. And they're as solid of a fielding team as you can see. Their bullpen is adequate. Their starting pitching has been good. I mean, all in all, I mean, yeah, I the goal by June probably should be 500 at this point.
I'm with you there. I mean, if they can get that, that'll be awesome. I mean, there's a few surprise teams. The Pirates have been shocking a bunch of people. They've been hot here of late. Obviously the Braves not shocking anybody, but they're off to a great start. The Blue Jays are really good. The Astros are solid. One of the notable teams that isn't off to a hot start, but usually picks it up by June is the Dodgers. So they lost a bunch of people in free agency. That's just I'm kind of surprised at I'm not really surprised, but I'm kind of surprised because they always kind of reload, but they just haven't yet. You just haven't seen them emerge yet.
And I want to say about the Braves, they've done all their damage with half their lineup hurt or their starting pitchers hurt. It's crazy. So, and Bryce Elder, man, that kid has come on and has been lights out here lately pitching. So
now I do not mean this necessarily in a negative way, but it kind of is in a negative way. But Ronald Acuna Jr. might be the softest player in the history of baseball.
You could be right.
You might be right.
Yeah.
He's very soft, but
he's talented. He's good. He's soft.
Yeah, he's soft.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man soft.
Lincoln Riley soft. That's pretty soft.
Yeah.
That is really soft. So MLB After Dark. Make sure if you want to be a part of the show, let us know. If you want your business featured here, we've got graphic room here presented by. You see this presented by blank down here. Why don't you get your name in there? But you could do a segment. You can do anything.
Actually, that presented by is taken.
Yeah,
it just hasn't been revealed yet.
It's coming though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can segment that out, can't we? We can divide that up.
No, I think we can do something because we have this sponsor is going to be our sponsor of our whole channel. The whole YouTube page is going to be sponsored by them. They're going to be on every thumbnail. That's where they're getting everything. But we could also do the pick segments sponsored by somebody, and then just individual segments. There's stuff we can do, but as we go, because today, After Dark LLC became a thing.
After Dark LLC, I love it, man. We are the founders. We are the founding fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to write a Bill of Rights and a Constitution and everything?
Hey.
After Dark LLC. I henceforth believe that After Dark shall remain off the rails.
I second that.
Yeah, First Amendment.
Yeah.
You have the right to go off the rails whenever you want to.
That's right.
It can be the first segment and the show can automatically be derailed because our brand is going to be off the rails.
That's right.
That's our point.
If you want random, well, this is the place to be. If that's what you're driving at.
Let's go ahead and get to Wes's comment. Let's talk a little bit about the draft if y'all want to.
Yeah, we can.
I'm down.
Yeah.
So Wes has said Ohio State quarterback, that is C.J. Stroud, scored so low on that test, which I don't know. What that
Wonderlic.
means.
It wasn't the Wonderlic. It's it's whatever replaced the Wonderlic.
It was the S2 or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, it's just one of those tests where the results are whatever.
Mm.
He said he's going to turn around the Texans his rookie year. He was serious. I'm not kidding. Well, with the 2 picks they had there in the first round with Stroud and Will Anderson, I may actually believe him.
And John Mechie has been fully cleared, so now he's got somebody to throw to at least.
Well, he's got Mechie, and then he's got a big target with Nico Collins. If Collins can stay healthy and develop some hamstrings that actually work, he can be a nice little weapon there as well. They have obviously they have Damian Pierce at running back, who's going to be rock solid. So they are looking up, man.
Yeah. In that division, they could turn it around in a year.
Not a very strong division.
Yeah. I mean, Jacksonville is the class of that division. I can say that again if y'all need me to.
You're right.
Yeah, Jacksonville is the class of that division. And Indianapolis is doing the same thing that 40 years ago made Mel Kiper famous. Same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Tennessee, we're just waiting on them to trade Derrick Henry.
Yep.
I mean, if it's not Houston and it's not Jacksonville, it's almost like it's nobody at this point. Because I have no faith in the Titans. I have no faith in the Colts whatsoever. I actually have less faith in the Colts than I did in the Jaguars last year. And
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson, he got boat raced by Vandy. He had worse numbers and went number 4 in the draft than somebody that had to come back to Ole Miss and continue to fight for his job. They brought people in to replace him. It makes no sense to me. The rule number 1,
it doesn't.
If you're a top shelf quarterback, you do not get boat raced by Vandy.
That should be if you were a mid-grade quarterback, you shouldn't get boat raced by Vandy.
You know what? You're talking about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
First Amendment. Do not get boat raced by Vandy.
That's the second one.
Yeah.
I second that motion.
Yeah, it's outlandish. It's preposterous.
It's ridiculous. The fact of the matter is this, Steve. You cannot get boat raced by Vandy. Yeah, you can't do that. And you can't, one of the other things that bothers me, and this is probably more of a really good play by Nakobe Dean, but you have a receiver locked up with a Mike linebacker out on the perimeter to the field, one-on-one, and you throw a pick 6 to him. What?
His interception he threw to Keydron Smith against Kentucky this year, I think that's exactly what you're talking about. The pass looked like it was meant for Keydron.
You're just like, what? And Will Levis did the same stuff. Like,
no, God.
And I sent a Twitter message that I don't know if you guys were paying attention to Twitter much past a certain point, but there was some dude that got drafted. I think it's Forbes, somebody like that, a corner, got drafted. What's his first highlight? Pick sixing who? Will Levis.
Will Levis, yeah.
He pick sixed Will Levis on his first highlight, and you're just like, and it was not a 50-50 ball that was well placed, and the guy just went up and made a play. Nah, bro. Hit him right in the bread basket.
Oh, man, it's terrible. Chauncey just said that Anthony, the player from Liberty that transferred in out of the portal, got some offers thrown at him ranging from $50,000 to $150,000 for a season. He said that he and Ole Miss got a good deal done, one that was not the highest offer he got. I wonder how much he actually did get.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably 60, 70,000, something like that.
Somewhere in there. But Ole Miss defensive players for Ole Miss are going to make money this year because they need them. It's a need-based thing at this point. So you're going to have players that in December would not get the amount of money that they're going to be able to get this summer.
Yeah.
Who's our bust pick? I think it's going to be Anthony Richardson because he's going to have the best chance to play early on. I don't think Will Levis is going to play early on. So I don't think you're going to have enough on Will Levis to call him a bust or a boom. But I think Anthony Richardson will not be able to function against an NFL defense.
No.
I'm about to say this, and I don't even know if I believe it. Okay. So understand that right off. My bust pick might be Bryce Young. And that is just because he's 150 pounds.
I mean, it's possible, but no.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he moves, what he's done. I mean, it's just the way they've built that roster up there. I think they've given him a lot of weapons to throw to.
They have.
Between Jonathan Mingo, Adam Thielen, and DJ Shark, he'll be able to uncork something down the field. They've got Hayden Hurst at tight end. They've got they signed Miles Sanders at running back, so they've got some weapons.
Jonathan Mingo?
Yeah.
I said that's the first one I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got some weapons. They've got 3 really good receivers and a good tight end and a good running back, who I think was kind of misused in Philly. He was not really a fit with the Eagles. That's why they went and traded for a Georgia running back, DeAndre Swift. But I think Bryce Young is going to do good.
Yeah, let's talk about that strategy for a second. Philadelphia is just like, yeah, we want that. We Georgia defensive players, we want that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the best defensive unit probably in college football history. Yeah.
Give me them.
Yeah,
I want some of them.
Let me like all of that. And
Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, good God.
With
Nakobe Dean too, yeah.
And Nolan Smith. Yeah.
And Nolan Smith, yeah.
Who was injured last year for half the year. Like his impact wasn't felt throughout the whole year. I don't know that Georgia struggles so bad against Ohio State if Nolan Smith is in the game and healthy.
Well, when did the Eagles pick up Nolan? Was it the second round?
No, it was right at it was pick number 30. It was right at the end of the first round.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Look who joined us.
Yeah. No, that was as soon as they picked Jalen Carter, I was like, yeah, they're getting Nolan Smith. I don't know if they're going to be willing to trade that. I was like, if some team doesn't jump in here, they're going to wait till pick 30. They're going to nab Nolan Smith at pick 30. What's up, Jeb?
Jeb.
Hey, I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Can you?
Yeah.
We got you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we
yes,
hear you last
barely,
time.
but yes.
You just couldn't hear us.
Could you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, my computer seems to have lost my microphone and headset. It just doesn't recognize them. So I'm on an old microphone and I'm running my headset through my speakers. So I can't hear y'all real well, but as long as y'all hear me, I guess it's all right.
All right. But
the hell yeah. So we're talking about the draft right now, Jeb, and we're talking about the strategy of drafting the entire 2021 Georgia defense.
Talking about the Philadelphia Bulldogs?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, the Philadelphia Crimson Tide Bulldogs, because all their playmakers on the offensive side of the ball is Alabama players. So
it's the Georgia-Delphia.
You have to give it to Oklahoma.
Bully.
No.
I like that one.
You take that back, Jeb.
Sorry. Just kidding.
Yeah. But I think since you're in here, Jeb, I got to know how you feel about Will Levis going to the Titans.
When they could have had Hooker.
I mean, my thing is, if you would have picked Hooker, he would have sold tickets. Because
we're not talking about Auburn yet. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I don't really think. Well, I didn't like trading up for him. It's better than a round 1 pick. I was happy that they didn't take him in the first round. So in the second round, I still didn't like the trade up. I think they should have just worked on the rest of their offense and just gone with Tannehill this year. Because they could have gotten a wide receiver in round 2 if they hadn't traded.
Well, they could have gotten Hooker in round 3.
Right.
Well, and I was going to say, and even in round 3, they could have waited to round 3 for a wide receiver and would have gotten any one of those that they wanted because they all went after the Titans would have picked, but before they did pick because of the trade down for Will Levis. So I just, honestly, if I was doing it, I would have gone offensive line in both the first 2 rounds and then gone maybe Jalen Hyde or somebody in the 3rd round. And then at the end of the draft, it's because you didn't get Tajay Spears, I would have taken like Kenny McIntosh in round 6 or 7. And that gives you a nice little dynamic back to have behind, Derrick Henry, but you didn't waste a high pick on him. So
Kenny McIntosh is a better version of Dontrell Hilliard, which was a perfect compliment to Derrick Henry.
I agree.
But I do like the Tajay Spears pick, though.
Yeah,
and I think he'll be all right. Yeah.
Joe DeLeon was raving about him at Senior Bowl
Tajay Spears is special, man.
He is. I really like that pick.
I wasn't mad at him. I just think in the third round, if they hadn't traded up for Will Levis, they could have gotten a wide receiver, which they need a lot more. So, and Jalen Hyde to me was the best one because they already
had AJ Brown.
Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah. Obviously, they should have just kept AJ Brown.
Like they have nobody to stretch the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's going to stretch
Treylon
the
Burks
field?
is a good player, but they need a guy who could take the top off.
Is he going to stay healthy? That's
Darius
the biggest
Haley
question.
Bay.
Yeah. Well, we're not talking about the Raiders, Steve, who picked just based on 40 times. But yeah, they have like Treylon Burks is great, but he's not a stretched field guy. He's not.
Yeah.
He's good at what he does, which is
lifetime.
Intermediate routes, possession guy, make a catch, tough to tackle, somebody in the fourth quarter that you want to get tired of tackling and take one. That's Treylon Burks. Westbrook Akine is the same player. And then you have Kyle Phillips in the slot, who's shifty and can do some things, but like he's not taking the lid off. So
No.
who's that guy?
Yeah.
You let Bobby Trees bounce, but he wasn't really that guy either.
Oh, sorry.
So maybe they thought they were going to get DeAndre Hopkins, which I don't know that that's even a phenomenal option at this point.
The way they talked, I feel like there's some validity to the argument that they were about to trade up to number 3 with the Arizona Cardinals. And the Texans heard that and decided to just go ahead and take C.J. Stroud because they knew they were trading up 4. And they just took him there instead of taking Will Anderson like you thought they would. Because not only did that eliminate C.J. Stroud going to a division rival, but then there was less of a, like a demand for the third pick. So then they were able to then trade back into the third pick without having to fight too many people for it and get Will Anderson. It worked out real well for the Texans, but
Which was phenomenal.
And the Colts just passed.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking. See, but at least the Titans didn't do that. We didn't take them in the first round. And
Still got him, though.
Yeah, Will Levis getting drafted in the second round went where he was supposed to go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just based off.
He was not going to be a top 5 pick. I mean,
But I just wanted somebody else to take him, not the Titans.
Yeah, I agree with that.
People always talking about positional value and all that in the draft, and they wanted to make fun of the Lions. I hate to tell it to anybody, Lions had a freaking fantastic draft.
They did.
Yeah.
Man.
Dude, to get Jack Edwards, Jahmyr Gibbs, I think is going to be a huge playmaker for them.
Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, allowed them to get Jared Goff some weapons. Allowed, it's going to allow that offense to function without J-Mo for 6 games, and it's going to allow Jared Goff to have a phenomenal year while Hendon Hooker heals and gets ready and doesn't have to rush in. Hendon Hooker's got 2 years.
Yeah, he went to a good spot
to get in the swing of things. He's got 2 years to get in the swing of things. That team with Ben Johnson coming back, who actually took his name out of some head coaching races, that offense is going to be electric, dude. I'm not going to say I'm a Lions fan, but I'm a fan of what Brad Holmes and MCDC are doing up there.
I think Hooker's the third best quarterback in this draft. Will end up being the third best quarterback.
And just because I like to mess with Titans fans, his quarterback coach is Mark Brunell.
Yeah. Jaguars. But anyway. Yeah, no, and I agree. I think Detroit did have a good draft. And
Jack Edwards he's a dog.
Yeah, and that is kind of one of those situations where I think people just thought he was taken too early. But if he turns into a good linebacker, it's not too early for him.
No,
and even the Jahmyr Gibbs thing's running back. If those 2 players take them and make sure the Detroit Lions are the class of that division for 5 years, that was a slam dunk 100 pick. There's no taking him too early if that happens.
And there's no such thing as not. I mean, hell, the Bears. They ended up trading him after like 2 seasons because they had some contract disputes. But they invested in inside linebacker at pick 8 with Roquan Smith.
Right.
The year they drafted Roquan Smith. So like that division obviously values that position, and that position is important in the NFL. And if you don't get it right, you're in trouble. And I think Detroit got it right. I mean, this kid's got to he's got to step in there and prove it now. But I think based on what he's shown so far at Iowa. Iowa's defense was not the problem.
Yeah.
Iowa special teams was not the problem. It was the fact that their defense could outscore their offense.
And yeah, Facebook. I think he still would have gone in the first. Gibbs is just a
that's
playmaker. He's just a playmaker. And at some point, somebody was going to want a playmaker on their team.
Yeah.
See what Gibbs does, and Jeb, that you're exactly right. He is a playmaker. He's a Swiss Army knife. He does everything. So he's not like a standard
He's Alvin
running
Kamara.
back. Yeah.
Right. He's an
Could
Alvin
be, yeah.
Kamara. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect comp. But he is Alvin Kamara. He does everything. He's going to make huge plays for the Lions. And then Wes, it's funny when I made that analogy, and I don't know if you heard that analogy, but now you're saying you think Forbes is the best corner in the first round. His first highlight was pick sixing Will Levis.
Yeah.
I love that. I love every bit of that.
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
he's gonna be
that was
solid.
on a wide receiver screen, by the way.
It was.
Yeah.
God.
And
Well-
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Corey, and you said it. Okay, Hendon Hooker's going to be able to sit for a couple years and get healthy behind Goff. He could have done the same as that thing in Tennessee, because I think
at least 1 year.
Right. So
Yeah,
I don't know
that's why I don't understand why the Titans don't like. Why don't they want a more athletic guy? I mean, Rand Carthen. I guess Rand Carthen's going 49ers, where it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's a scheme that's good. Maybe there's fixing to be some more changes down the pike that we're not really aware of. That's going to make the Will Levis pick make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, but they waited till round 7 to take a wide receiver. I mean, what is the
That's not
plan
ideal.
for offense?
Right.
If you're not taking wide receivers and you're taking a quarterback that you don't really think is gonna be that great.
Well, the Giants are going to have to cut somebody. So,
Well,
Yeah, they got 40 on the roster.
Well, speaking of the Giants, Jalen Hyatt to the Titans would have made sense.
Absolutely.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know it's not offensive linemen aren't sexy picks, but I honestly would have gone 2 offensive linemen back to back, and then 3rd round taking Jalen Hyatt, and then even later in the draft, I liked everybody picked after the Titans. That was one round where Noah Sewell was taken right after us. I probably would have taken him at linebacker. Then the next round, Kayshon Boutte was taken after us. I probably would have taken him. If you had ended up with Jalen Hyatt and Kayshon Boutte, 2 offensive linemen that are going to be starters, and then you have Ryan Tannehill for 1 year, and you worry about quarterback next year. I think that would have worked out much better for him. But
well, I mean, you could have honestly, you could have gotten Will Levis later in the draft because there's some guy named Aiden O'Connell who's pretty much the same player.
Oh, really?
You could have gotten somebody to add depth. I mean, there's a lot of late round guys that were really good at quarterback that not necessarily going to be starters and superstars in the league, but like a Jake Hayner for the Saints, like he's going to be a solid backup. If anything happens to Derek Carr, you're not completely screwed. Same thing with Stetson Bennett out in L.A. It's a scheme fit. I don't really. I mean, he got drafted in the 4th round, and Sean McVay loved him, so more power to him. But I guess Sean McVay doesn't feel like they'd be screwed over because they have nothing at quarterback outside of Matt Stafford, and so like you have some of these depth guys that like you can get. Ryan Tannehill has two seasons left in him, and he's not the issue. He's not the issue.
He's just not cuttable until next year. But you're right. He could. I think he's under contract for 2 more years.
He's under contract for 2 years. I think he's got 2 solid years in him. I just think you solidify the offensive line that makes that evaporates a lot of your problems.
Yeah, I think they could have built better for the future because I think they're building a lot of what they're doing is working toward. They're getting a new stadium, and I think they're going to start trying to build for a future team. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of looking at this as rebuilding. And I get it if you really believe Will Levis has the potential to turn into a superstar quarterback. I just don't see it.
And
they were excited he was there. Obviously, they traded up to grab him as quick as they could. But
maybe it's a scheme thing in the future. Maybe it's we're going to go 1 more year with this stuff, and we're just going to start rebuilding our offensive scheme. Maybe there's something. There's going to be some trade. There's going to be something happens with the Titans in June that's going to change the landscape of that team.
Yeah. Maybe they are still planning on getting. They have people they're looking at. I don't know. I got to believe there's a plan. I'm not happy,
Well,
but whatever.
Well, I mean, they either need to trade and get assets for Derrick Henry or re-sign him, one of the two.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
don't
what's
want him
going on
when
with
he-
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, you don't want him to just walk without getting anything back out of him.
I know, but he's what is he like 28 now? He's starting to hit that point where you're worrying about how much longer has he got. I don't know who will trade for him. Well, some people still would at the moment, but if you keep him one more year and he has a bad year, then he's going to lose all his trade value.
Right.
He's
He has
got a
another
ton of
good
trade
year.
value. He's got a ton of trade value now, and I thought they were
At the
about to ship.
moment, yeah.
I thought they were about to ship him off to Philly, but that's not happening now. But
And I was a little afraid of that.
you know,
Yeah.
Dallas could use a solid running back.
Yeah, I guess we could pay them back for DeMarco Murray. He worked out for a couple of years for us, but no, I hope they keep Henry, and I hope he has 3-4 more great years. But you got to know it's not too much longer for him. It's just not the way running backs work now.
Right.
Well, I think getting Tajay Spears is going to help that. I think it's going to help Derrick Henry not have to have 300 carries.
And I'm not a big sports person. I don't really understand the whole no ACL and arthritis and stuff going on with Tajay Spears. I hope that's not a big deal, or maybe it just means it'll be a shorter career than normal, but still good. I don't know. All that worries me, but again, they know more about it than I do.
You drafted Tajay Spears when? Third round?
Third round, yeah.
Third round. So you get a third round guy. You're expecting 2 seasons maximum.
Yeah, they can do that.
You get 2 seasons out of a third round guy, 2 seasons of solid contribution. You're usually in pretty good shape.
All right.
And then anything else is house money.
Right.
Somebody says on Facebook the steal of the draft is Zach Evans, the LA Rams, very late. He fits that perfectly. Yes, it's a steal for the Rams. I think Zach Evans going pro was a mistake, just from where he hit. Just right before.
Well, money wise, now he's just going to have to work on getting that second contract a little bit harder. But
Yeah, but 90% of players that get drafted don't get that second contract.
exactly. But it's just going to be a little tougher journey for him.
I thought that still the draft was for the Rams picking Stetson Bennett, a 40-year-old man.
They got to add veteran leadership to the.
Well, they're going to have it, that's for sure.
Yeah, Stetson Bennett was Norm Van Brocklin's backup, right?
He mentored Norm Van Brocklin.
Yeah. He's coming in to mentor Matthew Stafford, too, apparently.
Got to have the old beard in there.
I lost some money on Stetson Bennett yesterday.
Uh-oh.
We had a rookie draft, and one guy in our rookie draft, for some odd reason, drafted Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, and then Zay Flowers or somebody. But for his last pick, we were taking bets. I was betting he was going to pick Stetson Bennett, and he didn't do it. And it disappointed me. I thought he just wanted every quarterback he could get. C.J. Stroud was the only one he couldn't get his hands on. Well, and Hendon Hooker couldn't get either one of those.
Wes has the question. Steven, how much NIL money is Ole Miss allotting for Coach Beard? He is loading up in the portal. Top 5 portal class as I type. I don't know the exact dollar figure, but I heard rumors of a high dollar meeting that happened that was based on for NIL. So I imagine there was a pretty good commitment that they're working on making as we speak.
Steve, how does it feel to be completely relevant in basketball now?
I don't know. Ask me in November.
You're getting basketball NIL questions.
In May. Yeah.
So
that's because our baseball team is.
Got to feel good, right?
What is wrong with y'all's baseball team right now?
Our pitcher. Well, we lost our top 3 pitchers, and to try and put a Band-Aid on our situation, they moved our best closer that we had left to as a starting pitcher, which absolutely killed our bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
And the pitcher is good for 2 or 3 innings, but after that, he gets roughed up pretty good. So that basically killed us on Friday night, and our bullpen was dead.
So he needs to be a closer. Yeah.
And then now he's back closing, and Ole Miss won the series against Georgia last weekend.
That was you dropped the Saturday game, but you won Friday. You won Friday 7-3, then flipped the score on Saturday, and then won a nail biter on Sunday. So that was good for Ole Miss. But we got Tennessee coming up this weekend. We're at home though, so that's good.
Yeah, we get to Tennessee when they're finally playing well. God, that's so bad.
Yeah, it's not great luck for us, but it's all we're gonna get caught looking ahead to South Carolina upstate on on May 10th. So it's not going to be good.
And Alabama took LSU to the wire in all 3 games, and our pitching just.
I thought you were about to say to the woodshed.
No, we blew like an 8-3 lead, and blew the like a 6-2 lead, something like that. Just can't close out games.
Chauncey asked, "Is Ole Miss getting Ronald Holland?" And that's going to have to be a show me. I'm going to file that directly under show me before I think that Ole Miss gets somebody of that caliber. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we got about 20 minutes left. We probably need to move on to the topics we was going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we went off the rails at the beginning. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. We have
time to draft one.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to get into mostly draft talk, so
right.
Yeah,
it was to be expected. But so TJ Finley. Transfer portal.
Bye-bye.
Enter Peyton Thorne. So did any of you watch Michigan State football last year?
Yes.
At all?
A little bit.
I think their moms did.
Did not.
Yeah, that's
they're still living off tying Notre Dame in like the mid-60s.
Michigan State,
with Hightower playing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the biggest newsworthy story going on in Auburn right now. It's Hugh Freeze already coming out and saying he's got a burner phone in interviews. So
well, he should have had one. He should have had one in Ole Miss.
Yeah, see, he learned his lesson. All right.
Yeah. So that's good. That's progress, right?
Right.
Yeah. If he had a burner phone at Ole Miss, he might still be there. Probably not. But
yeah.
Yeah, he would. His scumbaggery would have caught up to him.
Yeah.
Give it time, it will at Auburn too.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, here we
You're
go.
right, Russ. You're right.
So
Buckner.
Jay, okay, the SEC West is going to be weird. See, we took one of those topics. Now let's talk about this. Alabama picked up a quarterback recruit in the portal 3 days after a lukewarm spring game. What's going on, Jack?
Competition breeds competition. That's the only thing I can say about it. You bring in him to push the 2 above him to get better. Now, I really thought one of them was going to enter the portal before it closed, but they didn't. So, I guess they're going to all 3 fight it out in fall camp.
Hey, I know all about that. But
didn't y'all get another quarterback, Steve?
I was hoping for like Brady Allen to come in the transfer portal. I'm genuinely hoping for Brady Allen. He's visited Ole Miss.
That would be very, very on brand for y'all. So, but it seems that now Colorado is starting to gain some people in the transfer portal and not.
Well, they got 70 spots open.
They're going to get the entire. They're going to get the entire portal.
Them.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to act like they're surprised by this.
Right.
No.
Yeah, but do you want to replace that many players right away? I mean, I understand it was a bad roster.
They went 1-11.
Yeah, but you're
he's bringing his luggage and it's Louis.
But does he have that many people ready to come in? That's what I'm wondering.
He's already got like a former 5-star that was in the portal. I think he's had riddle with injuries. So.
One of the guys from Tennessee just transferred there.
He does, Jeb.
It's probably like off-brand Louis. This is slightly misspelled. It's like Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
I got my bags. They Louis.
Did you get it in Times Square? Oh.
You got it from the same guy.
With 40 transfer players, probably. And that's what he wants to do. That's fine.
They're going to get game day. The first game day is going to be there for the TCU game.
Probably, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to get game. They will be fine.
Yeah, this is all working. This is all happening exactly like he wants it to happen.
And you think about it, if they went 1-11 last year, if they win 6 games and get a bowl berth, I mean that's a win for that program, an absolute win.
I know. I'm just gonna laugh if they go into next season with like 40 players.
In the portal era, that won't happen.
Yeah.
That will not happen in the portal era.
He's going to end up with the whole Mountain West all-conference team.
Pretty much.
Well, that's kind of how recruiting goes anyway. Like P5 recruits the portal, and then G5 recruits high school, and then so it's kind of like a feeder system.
Yeah, I'm not. It might be 34-14. I don't know if I'm willing to go there at this point.
I'm not picking that game.
Yeah. I'm not. Is that game in Boulder?
Believe so. Oh, speaking of TCU, Max Duggan going to the Chargers. So you're going to potentially. So is LA big enough for Stetson Bennett and Max Duggan?
Ooh.
Maybe a quarterback battle. Stetson Bennett.
Okay, so the first game is at TCU.
Went to the Chargers.
So they're Buffalo. So
yeah, then I'm more inclined to go with the 34-14. But I do think what TCU did last year was a mirage.
All right, so let's go down their schedule real quick. Their next game is at home versus Nebraska. I think that's a W.
You talking about Colorado or TCU?
Yeah. No,
Colorado?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Colorado has a chance to get Nebraska.
Yeah. Then they have Colorado State. That's probably another W.
Yeah.
That's also at home. So then they go on the road to play Oregon. That's probably
an L.
Yeah. Then they're back at home. They back at home playing USC.
That's an L.
Colorado, they got to go to Arizona State the week after.
Yeah, that could be a W.
That could be a W. So 3-3, maybe potentially. And then they play Stanford at home.
That's a win.
Yeah. Then they go to UCLA.
That's a loss.
Then they have Oregon State at home.
It's a loss.
And then they close out the season with Arizona Wildcats at home.
They can win that.
So
6-6 might be a possibility for them.
Absolutely.
I think so. I'm not doubting that. And that would be build a prime statue.
Yeah, pretty much down there.
Yeah, if they're in the Poinsettia Bowl or whatever that's called now, I mean, that's a win.
At Petco Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the what bowl game is the one that Barstool Sports does now?
The Barstool Bowl? I think it's in Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, if Colorado got that, they'd be ecstatic. They'd sell that thing out.
Mm-hmm.
They'd sell just about anything out.
A lot of home games for Colorado this year too. So next year they'll be on the road a lot. So
on the road again.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody's watching this show, we're actually doing this show for the first time in 1080p.
Nice.
You can see me in full HD, so don't be alarmed.
Yeah.
I didn't put on any makeup.
I need some. My face is white as a ghost.
Where's Blair?
Blair Bear.
Yeah, the SEC West is going to be extremely weird.
Yeah, let's sit through here. Earmuffs, Jack. This is my hot take that I'm living with right now, and I'm kind of going back and forth on it, but it's the more I think of it, the more it sticks, and that is that Texas is going to beat Alabama. The hype from that is going to be unbearable the rest of the year. You know how it is when Texas beats anybody. They don't shut up about it. I mean, you almost root for what happened at the Alamo because if you see how it goes in the future. And
wow.
But at the end of the year, everybody's going to be like, oh, wait, that's not much because Alabama was a 4-loss team.
I don't see Alabama losing 4 games.
And I don't either, because especially since LSU, Tennessee, and Texas is all in Tuscaloosa, they're not going to lose all those games.
And plus, we still got Nick Saban.
Yes, yeah, you absolutely do. But you have two new coordinators, new quarterbacks, true freshmen that are going to be playing running back, and a wide receiver unit that, for whatever reason, has not gelled. Defensively, you're going to be fine. I just don't know in this age of college football, like when you play Tennessee, for instance, if Alabama's going to be able to score with Tennessee. Because you're not going to line up and be Georgia. You're not going to be able to do what Georgia did to them.
Well, you just got to keep Tennessee out of the end zone.
Well, yeah, just that. I mean, Joe Milton can throw an orange 100 yards.
Right. I mean, if they get
he
inside
can
the
throw
20,
it through a battleship too.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're inside the 20, I'm not scared of him throwing it in the end zone because he can only throw it 40 yards.
That's right. Yeah.
So they'll have to run it in.
And Nico Imaleava is going to get some playing time.
I think
Say
so.
his name.
Yeah. The thing about Alabama is if we do happen to lose to Texas, that's an early game. It could kickstart, and then Alabama can win the rest of the way out.
They can't. They absolutely. Nobody's saying that Alabama can't do it. But I know as an Ole Miss fan right now, I am not ready to concede that game to Alabama.
You shouldn't conceive any game.
Yeah, I mean, but even in Tuscaloosa, that's a game that I fully expect Ole Miss to be competitive in. I mean, the ball was in the air last year with a chance to win with Will Anderson and Bryce Young.
Right.
And now getting them in September before everything gels. Now, I would not want to play Alabama in November. By the time they play LSU, I don't want any. I don't think anybody wants any. But the early part of that schedule, it's got a little bit of trickiness. And going down to the Plains and playing Hugh Freeze, that's got weird game written all over it.
Well, it's always in the Ferns. Yeah.
It's always a weird game. No matter who's the coach. I could be the coach
especially down at Auburn.
It's Auburn Jesus time.
Auburn's going to win the football game.
Oh, yeah.
Kick six.
Yeah. So, but somebody, Wes said, well, we know that Vandy will have a better record than MSU at the end of the season. Nobody has a rougher schedule first 5 or 6 games than MSU.
We went through that last week.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, that's probably true.
I think Vandy might be going to a bowl game this year.
I agree.
They're going to do that. They're going to do that Auburn Tiger Birmingham Bowl runner-up thing this year.
Remember, we talked about that last week too. They need to win either the Auburn game or the Florida game. We decided to get bowl eligible.
To get bowl eligible.
And they beat Florida last year. So
Corey, this is what we can do. We talked about the SEC West being weird. Let's go ahead and pick a couple of teams in the SEC as a whole and kind of go through their schedule and give W's and L's.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's start with the aforementioned Vandy. We said Vandy was going to finish.
We did that last week. We did that last week.
Yeah, we did it last week.
But Vandy, okay, I wasn't here last week, so I didn't hear that. But Vandy has the weird potential of maybe getting bowl eligible before they lose a game. I don't think it'll happen. I'm just saying they could. Yeah. Their first 4 games are all out of conference, and then they got Kentucky and Missouri as their first 2 SEC.
Wait,
okay,
you don't listen to the show even if you're not on? What the heck, Jeff? Come on, man.
Oh, I probably wasn't supposed to say that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, of course I heard the whole thing.
Yeah. Just because Mr. Commodore was here doing
right. Yeah.
I'm just saying that's interesting. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry. Let's go back to what we're doing.
All right. So SEC West is going to be weird. So let's look at one of the weirdest teams in the division, Arkansas.
Okay,
let's do it.
All right, Western Carolina.
Win.
Dub.
Kent State.
Dub.
Win.
Home against BYU.
Dub.
Who
won that game last year?
Arkansas won that game last year, but that was when BYU kind of fell apart. Like Kalani Sitake just lost that team. But I'm gonna give that a dub. So that's 3 wins.
Yeah,
they just rolled them because the difference in the line of scrimmage at LSU.
Lost.
Oh, that's an L.
Texas 8-4.
That's an L.
Is it at Texas A&M?
No, it's in Arlington. It's in Texas.
Okay, so
Remember
I'm gonna say
last
W.
year, Texas A&M lost the ball by like hitting the very top of the upright. Lost the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. They had several moments like that where like KJ Jefferson threw like one of the weirdest pick sixes of all time also in that game. I remember at that point I'm like, yeah, Arkansas is going to lose this game.
Yeah.
I feel like Arkansas's offense is going to be surprisingly good this year. I don't know, but I also don't think A&M's going to go 4-8 again.
Kendall Browse is gone. I don't know where he went,
true.
but he's gone.
That's
He's
right.
at TCU. He's at TCU.
He's at TCU.
Yeah.
I think he just left behind good pieces. I don't know if they'll be good in the future, but
You know what? If Kendall Browse is at TCU, I'm not so quick to take that 34-14 anymore.
Yeah.
That game just got closer, knowing that it's not Garrett Riley there anymore.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
Garrett Riley's at Clemson.
So who's next on their roster or on their schedule?
At Ole Miss, October 7th.
Oh, that's an L. That's an L.
At Bama, so that's a guaranteed win, right?
Hell.
Home against Mississippi State.
That's a W.
Home team wins that game,
They're
just like the Ole
off.
Miss game.
They're off, and then they host Florida after Florida's cocktail party.
They host Florida or they're at Florida?
Actually,
They're
I
at
take that
Florida.
back. They're at Florida. Yeah, my bad.
Ooh,
You know,
Take that back. Florida hosts
I
them.
don't like them in the swamp.
I don't
I
either.
don't know what Florida's going to do this year.
Florida's gonna be bad.
I think so.
They're going to win.
Florida's not gonna have a
They're going to
quarterback.
win 7 games and go to Nashville.
Yeah.
What do them next? What do them next, Corey?
Okay. Home against Auburn.
I
can
will
win
say W.
Home against FIU,
Well, yeah.
Win.
and they end the season home against Mizzou.
That's a
That's
win.
that's a W. And
So is that 8?
And Florida
It's not
State
an eight.
beats them. Wait, that's Florida and Florida State. I've already jumped ahead of the next one. Florida State beats them.
So
Yeah,
that's
Florida
8
State.
wins, 8 or 9 wins for
Yeah, what did we
Arkansas
say?
potentially?
Yeah,
I
I think they're 7 and 9 is their window.
Yeah.
We said dub against Auburn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, so dub.
Goose.
I mean, you got 3 wins to close the year.
Should
out.
be a good ending to the
L,
season for them at least.
L.
Right.
So they're going to lose 4 in a row. That momentum
Yeah.
swing with that LSU to Bama. October is going to be a rough month for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
October's going to be rough for them. All right, let's look at Florida.
Yeah, let's look at Florida.
Go Gators.
All right, they're starting off with a loss at Utah. They're no shot there. Utah's going to run all over them.
We said that last year.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
they just ran over Utah last year.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I
Dub.
wouldn't say they ran over Utah. They barely beat Utah in a huge climate advantage for Florida, and they still narrowly escaped that game. Like Utah should not have had a chance with the way the weather was.
the flip side of
They
that
looked
is
better.
Florida had to play with Anthony Richardson as their quarterback.
Yes. Yeah.
They're not going to be hamstrung this year.
Now they have Graham Mertz.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. We're good. now.
Sure about that? Graham Mertz was like, "Hey, I want to go to Kentucky." And Kentucky's like, "Nah, we're good."
Yeah.
They got Devin Leary. Kentucky,
Yeah.
I think, is they could be a surprise team. Yeah.
That's a massive upgrade.
Devin Leary is a better quarterback than Will Levis. I will die on that hill.
That's not really much of a hill to die on, but he's good. He was really, I mean, God, he was the main reason NC State was even viable. Like you take Devin Leary off that NC State team, and they're garbage. So,
he was injured.
Mimi's, yeah. They'll win that.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Loss.
That's a loss.
It is in the swamp.
No, it's not. Yeah, it is.
Is it not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't I read schedule? I'm brain dead tonight. I can't read schedules apparently.
Yeah, we beat them in Knoxville last year. So
They're home against Charlotte. Dub. So right now they're 2-2. At Kentucky.
Ooh,
Loss.
that's a loss.
I think
loss.
if that's a home game, it's a win.
I
but
don't
it's
because
not.
it wasn't last year.
Yeah.
Normally it is, but Home
was
against
not good last year.
Vanderbilt. Does Vanderbilt go to the Swamp and win?
No.
Oh man.
I would love it, but no.
Oh, that pick week is gonna be so fun.
Oh my goodness! We're gonna call the voice of God out to have her pick, and she's gonna pick that based off of Vanderbilt stormtrooper all white uniforms going down in the swamp.
Especially if Vanderbilt is playing well. This team by October 7th might be done with Billy Napier.
Dang! Wow.
They might.
That's crazy to think about, but
He might lose this. He might lose this team. I mean, he's not far away from doing that. At South Carolina.
Oh, that's a no.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Carolina's good. The cocktail party.
Oh, that's a no.
Capital L.
Capital L. Hosting Arkansas. I think we said that was a dub for Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At LSU.
Oh, that's an L.
Loss.
They're getting seal clubbed. At Mizzou, win.
No.
Mizzou's tricky.
You never know what happens in those games. I think it's a win, but
I think it's a win. I think ultimately it's going to be a win, but that's not going to be an easy win. And then
you never know.
And then they host Florida State in the Swamp.
And they'll get killed by Florida State.
If Mike Norvell wears the gray hoodie, they're in trouble.
Nice.
So there you go, Florida Gators. So I hope somebody was keeping score because I certainly wasn't.
I think 4 wins.
3.
I think
3 non-conference.
We're saying probably about 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5. We got to
5. Yeah, 5. Okay.
And that depends on if they can take care of Vandy.
Yeah,
that's a big if.
Big if. Florida is trash juice.
Dan Mullen really messed up Florida. Yep.
You know, in the
trash.
I've said this like 3 times on this show, and nobody's listening, but I've said this. It's like if you are not an NFL player, and you get to like a year away from your degree, why would you not transfer from Mississippi State to Vanderbilt and get that sheepskin with Vanderbilt University written on it and no debt?
Right. That's a good point.
Why would you not do that?
You just have to get in, I guess. That'd be the hard part. And I bet you there is some problems with transferring credits and stuff to Vanderbilt. Like there's probably some crazy requirements there.
There's a reason why it's not a frequent thing.
But even if you had to go 2 years or something to get your degree,
people don't want to go to school. I mean, people aren't thinking about school. They're trying to get out of school.
Yeah, that's true.
But the reality is you can go there for a year, suck it up, play some football for fun, and then be done and be set up for the rest of your life.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that would be smart.
Or you would stay at Mississippi State, go in the 6th round of the draft, make $800,000 a year for 2 years, and end up in the USFL.
If you're interested in agriculture, you're in the right spot, though. I mean, I'll take 2 years at $800,000 at USFL.
Yeah, Vandy has 3 surgeons for middle linebacker. That's good.
One's a brain surgeon, one's a cardiologist, and the other.
Well, just think if somebody gets injured on the field, there's all them doctors there to help them out. So,
hey, Vanderbilt had a brain surgeon that helped me out, so I'm always thankful for Vanderbilt.
Amen.
As Vanderbilt's version of storming the field when somebody gets hurt, all the doctors come rushing in. Clears the stands out.
That's the only time they can.
Doctors and lawyers. Hey, take my card.
You go to a Vandy game and somebody says, "There's a doctor in the house," and like everybody stands up.
Yeah.
Wait,
except the visiting fans.
Right.
Yeah.
The Georgia fans are barking at all the doctors as they go down. So does Vandy lose a home
They're
game?
all practicing. Nerds! Nerds!
That's what I was thinking. They're going to lose a home game because everybody trying to help.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Now, if they storm the field in an orderly single file line, do they still lose a home game?
That's what I was going to ask. Could they get in trouble for what they did? Because That was the most orderly storm in the field I've ever seen in my life. The most Vanderbilt thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was crazy.
They just waiting their turn to step on the field.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Excuse me.
Tickets,
Pardon me.
please.
Yeah.
They're all
We'll be on for 5
doctors. Yeah.
minutes.
That's why I don't have nobody in the stands because they're all doctors. They're probably on call.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah,
Old
that
Vandy.
month I spent in ICU. That's going to stick with me for a little bit. But Vandy's neuro ICU is nice.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's nice. We
They
watched
have some
we
nice
watched
people.
Creed 2 in there, right, Jeb?
Yeah. They had actually just movies you could just watch on demand, but lots of them. It was
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
I
And
hope
stuff
so.
that was in theater, like, had just come out. That was brand new.
I'm sure their facilities are pretty nice.
I hate to be a
Yeah.
naysayer, but St. Thomas has the pediatric ICU advantage.
Well,
I do not doubt that at all.
We had a better pediatric ICU experience at St. Thomas.
well, just because I don't want to leave them out, I was in the ICU at Centennial for a while, and it was much better than the regular beds. Like the regular rooms, I didn't really like the beds, but the ICU, those beds were comfortable.
Centennial and St. Thomas are the same thing now.
Oh, well, there you go.
TriStar, Centennial, St. Thomas, something like that. Yeah, it's all the same.
Although my opinion might be tainted because I was also on a lot of drugs, so the ICU seemed really nice. But I
So
didn't really
you want to know my basis of my opinion here?
Let's see.
So Huck was getting an IV, and Huck doesn't willingly get IVs. You have to kind of like hold him down, and he was alert at this point. And so the nurse comes in, and him and his partner, she gets the spot ready, and he goes to stick it, and he misses, and
Oh, that's
blood
the worst.
comes squirting out of his hand. I mean, it was like it was shot out of a cannon. Blood is just going everywhere, and this guy is frozen. He is freaked out. And so I reach over, I grab some gauze, and I dive across the bed, and I smack it on Huck's arm. Huck is my 7-year-old, by the way. He has epilepsy, and he had his first seizure, and we went to Vanderbilt. And we were there for pretty much 4 days.
Yeah.
And we should have only been there for like 1.5. But so that I'm like, I was expecting to get paid for my work, my services there that day.
That's
So
usually
this
the
guy's
way-
like freaking out, and I'm like holding the gauze on his arm, on Huck's arm, going, okay, it's good. Let's go.
Do something.
I never saw that dude again.
Probably a reason why.
probably quit.
Mhm.
Yeah, really.
Probably working somewhere else.
Just
Yeah.
or just told him I'm not going back in that room. I understand that.
Mhm.
Oh Lord,
Hey, where did
traumatic.
Tank Bixby go?
he got drafted. I'm pretty positive.
Did he
I
go to the
I remember
Jaguars?
his name.
Let me look
Was it
that
Jeb?
up.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
I was gonna say.
No, I wasn't-
I know I've heard his name on draft day. I just don't remember when.
Yeah, he was a day 3 guy.
Let's see.
Jaguars. You're right.
Jaguars, yeah.
He went to the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not
Nice,
not
nice
that's
pickup.
not good for Snoop Connor.
No, it's not.
Uh,
Good pickup for the Jags, though. I don't think Brian Harsin used Tank Bisbee the way he should have when he was there. That's probably why he ain't there no more.
Among other reasons.
Right.
I have a opinion about Auburn football that is probably not popular, but no coach would have been able to follow Gus Malzahn because he runs such a niche system. So anybody that was trying to do something else was going to run into problems, and it doesn't matter if it was him, Nick Saban, or any other coach that is out there. They are not going to win at Auburn until they rebuilt everything.
Yeah.
they just had the wrong personnel.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
Shouldn't have got rid of Malzahn, honestly.
So we're saying Brian Harsin was the sacrificial lamb, huh?
He
He
was
was
there.
the Ray Perkins.
Ray Perkins, yep.
At least he was cool about it. Wait,
Yeah.
never mind.
I mean, they try to run him out by starting an affair rumor. So,
hey, I wonder where he's going, and as if the recruiting girl went with him.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Probably.
The wife's like, "Why do you always want her to babysit?"
We don't even have kids.
Jeb.
Sorry.
Jeb, don't Google that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they added Dearness Johnson in the offseason. Jaguars did.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a pretty solid running back core here with Tank Bigsby, Snoop Connor, ETN, Jermichael Hasty, Dearness Johnson, Quadri Allison, which Allison's going to be a practice squad guy. I think. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one because Hasty actually was the number one backup last year. Oh yeah, this might not be good news for Snoop Connor.
Yeah.
Snoop Connor might be getting cut.
Brian Harson is unemployed still. They have nothing. There's nothing on him, like going anywhere. He may be doing TV. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's just getting paid.
Right.
He might have a thing where they told him to find employment or whatever to mitigate the buyout, and he's like, no, pay me.
Right.
You treat me like that, pay me.
I don't blame him 100%.
Yeah, give me the 16 mil and let's get it. Let's get it over with. All right, we getting out of here?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, let's roll. Here we go. We are SEC After Dark as a member of After Dark LLC, Y'all's Conference Network, Bleav Network, who just partnered with Cumulus Media.
Ooh.
Right.
Nice.
Joined forces.
Cumulonimbus Media.
Cumulonimbus. I can't say that one. Yeah,
work on that.
Yeah, I got to work on that. Yeah, that's going to be. I might have to learn how to say that. So, but yeah, so we are SEC After Dark. We're coming back to you each and every week with all the randomness, all the off the rails that you could ever imagine. So, for Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, and Jake Thomas, I'm Corey Burton. We'll see you back here next week, better than ever, on SEC After Dark as a part of Y'all's Conference Network, Bleav Network, and After Dark LLC. Goodbye, and as always, go Dogs.
Hotty
Vols.
Roll Tide.
Welcome to the family.
Family.
What a joke.
He learned how to speak Louisianan from Fletch Lives.
Right.
It's a good resource. We joke, but he might win the West again.